So here I am in Perth, Western Australia, an exciting day for me. Today, here is Tesla Model Y. Ta-da! Lucky enough to be able to take this little baby for a nice test drive, and boy oh boy, I tell you right now, it is amazing. Couple of things that I want to know. Is it worth it? So I'm going to look at those questions. What are the differences between the Model 3 and the Model Y? What is the drive like? Is it smoother? Is it rougher? I'm hearing lots of mixed reports. How much cargo space is there? And anything else that I might find while I'm looking at it. So if you're curious and have questions about the Model Y too, come along with me. Let's check it out. See the difference between the Model 3 and the Model Y side by side. Absolutely huge height difference. Like, so I guess, yeah, for range, that's me standing beside it. So I've just jumped in the Model Y. Oh my God, it is significantly larger. First impressions, much larger and nicer. I like it. Time for the test drive. Okay, first time driving. Oh my God, this is incredible. Wow. Oh, it's nice. It's very, very nice. Okay, that is significantly higher off the ground than I am used to. Hey, so I know that one of the big differences for me personally is going from a Model 3 dual motor long range into a standard Model Y. I'm losing a lot of the performance. So on this next part, I'm gonna do a bit of a takeoff and test how much I'm gonna lose. From a stop to go, boom. Oh, still get pushed back in my seat. Okay. Okay, let's give it a little bit of juice. I can confirm it still has power. It still pushes you back in your seat. So one of the other features that I've heard reviews about and seen people talking about is the turning being a little bit harsher when you go around corners. Now, I absolutely love my Model 3, how you can just hug a turn and it just sits there right in the pocket like you haven't even had a turn. I'm just gonna do this next turn a bit strong. All right, that's stuck right there in the pocket. No issues whatsoever. All right, assessing ride quality and noise. To me, that seems really about the same as the Model 3. I can notice it sounds like some squeaky seats. There's a little bit of rattle coming from the back there. Let's see if we can try and hear it. As you can see, it's so much taller. Comparison to my Model 3, here's me, here's the height, which does make it so much nicer when stepping aside. It really means it's just a butt shuffle across and I'm in. Ah, this view across the road. So it's really hard to tell, I think, on camera just how much taller you are off the road, but I can tell instantly from this view. I'm so used to my Model 3. This is significantly higher and much preferred. Feels more like a real car, strangely enough. Okay, so the frunk is significantly deeper. That's got a lot more storage than what I'm used to with my Model 3. I wonder if I can even... Okay, yes, I can actually sit in the front. Admittedly, my legs are kind of poking out, but I don't know if you'd want to sit like this really, although kind of cool, but no really. The big difference here is the cargo area. So let's really check out how much more space it has. Well, this clearance is absolutely massive. So I'm standing underneath it now. I don't even have to raise it. While I do believe it can raise even taller. Yep, It's got huge amount of clearance before I hit my head, which is really good for loading stuff in and out. Quick tip, if you did want it to stay at the increased height, hold the button in here for a couple of seconds. Once you hear that chime, you can now close. Now when we open back up, it should resume to that set height. Maybe you've got the alternate situation where your garage has a very low roof or a car park or anything. You can manually pull it into place, hold the button again, chime, close, and resume opening to the set spot. Ta-da! Here's where the real fun begins though. Actually sitting back in the cargo area.
Negative. There are no restraining harnesses in the cargo area.
I have to admit, this I could really get used to. Pulling up at a beach somewhere and just enjoying sitting back. And here's trying to do the same in the Model 3. Not so good. Let's get those seats down. Like so. If I've got my head towards the top of the seat rest here, let's have a little look how much clearance I have. I'm well and truly in the car with my feet. No problem at all. God, that would be amazing pulling up to a beach and enjoying. And the best part about it is this view. Oh my God. Just sky all the way. It's not so good trying to do this in the Model 3.
Yeah, not as comfortable. No.
And if the cargo area is not enough, there's also additional storage under the floor. Simply lifting this up will reveal a very deep storage well. There's also a second storage well, not quite as deep, but perfect for fitting anything small. These two wells combined give you an insane amount of cargo storage. Okay, one thing that's really stood out to me is the difference here between the front windows and the back passenger windows having that tint. I was not aware of that. Not sure what the reason is for that, but certainly different than my Model 3, which has none of the tint. How does that look from the inside? Untinted, tinted, untinted, tinted. So if you look behind me now, you can see a difference between the untinted front windows and the tinted back windows. It's not much noticeable on the inside, but much more noticeable from the outside. From a rear passenger perspective, they really got the best seat in the house. Love it. Now I might be wrong, but that sounds like a different boot chime to me as well. It's much more quieter and discreet. All right, and the last part now is driving it back. Let's take it for a good test drive and see what it's worth. In terms of in the cabin, just the seating position and everything, it does feel different. Now, admittedly, I don't have my profile loaded, so there could be a little tweaking to do with the steering wheel, but I think it's just that overall extra height off the ground. Everything just feels a lot more grand. I feel really in control, like feels so much nicer, feels proper. I'm a big fan of how it feels on the inside. That's what she said! Let's take it for the drive. All right, so here we go from an absolute stop to taking off just nice and slow in a car park. Wow. So even though that speed hump felt really large, it was also really soft and smooth. I am much more of a fan of the Model Y suspension, yes. Okay, I can't help but absolutely love that entire glass roof there. What a difference that makes. Okay, so after driving the Model Y for a while now, I can confirm it's a nicer drive. In my opinion, I much prefer this. I think for me personally, that extra height is something that I've been missing. So there we have it. That was my test drive of the Model Y in Perth, Western Australia. So when I think about those pros and cons and weigh them up, a couple of the things that I was worried about being that it was slower and sluggisher and, you know, not as much takeoff power, which is factually true to me personally. I didn't see that as an issue. Also about going around corners, feeling a lot looser and that you've got more push in your chair. I didn't feel that at all. To me, it felt absolutely spot on the same. I couldn't notice any difference. However, those pros, I absolutely do love. That extra height and the extra scenery that you get going for, it just looks like a commanding perspective that I much prefer over the Model 3. As same as the glass roof on the Model Y, much better. Just removing this big wedge here makes a huge difference, which I am a big fan of. Or it's a tough decision because it's time to decide whether I want to keep my Model 3 or upgrade to the Y. That's going to be a very tough decision. I'm a big fan of the Model Y. I think it's going to be hugely popular in Australia, and I think I'm going to see a lot more people that I know being on the conversion once they experience the Model Y. If you've got any questions, concerns, or thoughts about the Model Y, put them in the comments down below and I'll be sure to answer them. And as usual, don't forget to do the good old like and subscribe if you want to see more, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye.